Hey folks, welcome back. I'm David. We're here in my shop where I build E-War guitars. This is going to be episode number 2 of my journey into CNC guitar making. If you ever thought about adding a CNC to your shop and you wonder what it would be like to learn how to use it, you might want to stick around and check this out because that's exactly what I'm doing. I have no prior experience with this tool. I have been a woodworker for many years, but I am brand new to CNC machines. And I am taking you all on my journey with me as I build my very first guitar with the CNC. Anyhow, if you think you might dig that, why don't you stick around and check it out. And if you do dig it, how about you give me a like and subscribe. Anyway, let's get rolling with the video. Okay, so to catch you up on where we're at so far, we've completed all of our design in Adobe Illustrator, and then I moved those drawings over into Vectric V-Carve, and I created all my tool paths. And I cut out these two patterns here, both the neck and the body. And I've checked everything. I like the alignment of everything. I like the placement of everything. And we're ready to move on to the next step. So I'm going to put this guy aside for now. And it's time to move on to getting our blanks in order. Okay, so I've got two of these pieces right here. This is 8 by 18 inches by 2 inches thick, and I've got the other one sitting on the CNC machine over there. And I've got another set of blanks over here too. I'm going to go ahead and cut out 2 bodies while I'm at it. And I've got my blanks also for the neck made up. I've got these pieces here that I'm going to mill up all of our parts to make the neck out of too. But we're going to keep those aside for now. We're going to be working on the body. So I put all this wood you see before me in my drying box for probably a month, maybe even as long as 6 weeks. I just put it in there and let the thing run. And I did that because I wanted to make sure that this wood was as stable as I could get it before I start milling on it. And for instance, this went in on February 7th at 12%. It is now, that says 4, 5%, 6%. So it's somewhere around 5 or 6% moisture content. This one is 7. Okay, so we're good. I think we're stable at a nice low moisture content in this wood, and which is what you want because you don't want the stuff moving on you after you start cutting out your parts. Okay, so part of this video series is I'm trying to determine, I'm learning about the CNC machine. I'm trying to determine, do I want to continue doing the things where I was doing it before, or do I want to move certain operations over to the CNC machine? Now, normally what I do at this stage is I have to surface this material up both on one face and get one edge perfectly square with the face. And then I'll flip it over and I'll plane it on the back side to, so I have both front and back edges are parallel with each other, and I have one really super straight square edge. That's normal. I do that on my router sled and my plane. Okay, and I'm thinking, the CNC has the same capability of surfacing one surface of this thing. It's really exactly the same operation as I'm doing on my router sled, only it's doing it on the CNC machine. And instead of using a standard router bit, where I got it, I have this little surfacing bit here, right here, which is a 1-inch carbide tip 3-wing little cutter head, and it's made for surfacing. So instead of the router bit that I was using before, I'd be using this, and instead of doing it on the router sled, I'll be doing it on my CNC machine. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. I think what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to do lay it on my CNC, and I'll show you. I've got it set up over there. We'll go over there in a second. I'm going to surface the one face of the thing, and then I'll still take it off, flip it over, and run it through my planer for the other side because I think that'll be faster. So I'll have my 2 perfectly parallel flat surfaces, and then I'll join up the one edge and get it ready to glue together. Okay, so before we go over and set up on the CNC machine and start milling out this part, I'm going to take you over to the computer. We're going to open up Vectric V-Carve, and I'm going to show you how I did the surfacing tool path to do this and how I created the G-code on Vectric V-Carve, and then we'll jump back over here to the CNC machine and start cutting away. So in V-Carve, what you do first is you set up your material, and that's what that white square is in the middle. That's my half body blank. And then you draw whatever shape on there. In this case, I'm drawing a rectangle that's just a little bit larger than the body blank itself. That way that bit, as it's operating, it can cut all the way past the edges to make sure we have a good surface on the entire piece. And it's really pretty simple, and you just go through and you select the tool you're going to use, In this case, it's a 1-inch surface cutting bit. And you produce your tool paths on the side over here, and you answer a few basic questions. Like, for instance, the depth of cut you're going to do, which in this case is a 1/16, how many passes you want to do to make that full depth cut, and in this case it would be just one. And I'm doing a raster tool path, which is basically the bit running back and forth, basically vertically on the y-axis. And I'm also going to tell it to ramp the tool path in. In other words, the bit will ramp in over the first couple inches of travel into its full depth. Some other things I'm learning that are very critical to this is what they call feeds and speeds. So it's the speed that the router bit is spinning, and the feed rate is how fast the CNC is moving across the surface of the wood. So very critical stuff. Too slow and it takes too long, and too fast and it could chatter and make a mess. Every time I use this software, I'm learning a little something new, and it's been a real cool journey so far. I'm really enjoying it. Okay, so here's my piece of the body blank, the 1/2 of the body blank. And as you can see, I've got a center line drawn up the middle this way, and I've also squared them down the edges too. And what we need to do, what the whole aim of this is doing is, as you can see here, that thing rocks really badly, okay? And we need to get that rock out of there. In other words, we have to get one surface perfectly flat. Then we can flip it over and run it through the planer over there and do the second, so then we'll have two perfectly flat surfaces on either side of this thing. Then we could join up the one edge. So we're going to surface it the first side here on the CNC machine. So what I've done is I've got my little clamped on fence here to line up this one side, and I've got these locked down really good. Okay, and it's locked down with this center line exactly in the center, and then I'll adjust it back and forth. So this x-axis line is on the center line going the other way on the x-axis on the CNC. Now I've got these two wedges here because we've got to hold this stable so it doesn't rock. So this was just a wedged piece of maple that I had left from something else. And I went ahead and I marked 1-inch increments all the way up the thing. Okay, because I want whatever spacer I have under that side, I want it under that side too, so it's basically in its medium position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip one under this corner here. I'll set it there at about 1.5 inches. Then I'm going to slip this one over here, and we'll go in till it just touches. A little bit of rock there still. Let's tighten that one up a little. Still a little bit. See, I want to go in the same amount on each side. Getting better. A little tighter. Okay, that's sitting really stable in both directions. Okay, I'm happy about that. I'm pushed up against this fence piece over here. Now I made this other part here, which is just going to help hold this other side, and I ran these 2 screws in, so just the points are sticking out. And I'm going to set this down like so, push it into that just to hold some pressure on it, and I'm going to run a screw on each end down into my spoil board, and that should hold this piece really stable in place. And of course, as you can see, this side here is lower than the surface, so we don't get in and start cutting this too, which we won't, because we're only going to take off about a 1/16 off of the top. Or that's what I have the G-code set at, is taking off 1/16 of an inch. And we'll see. If that doesn't do it, then we'll run it again, reset the Z-axis for the new top, and we'll run it again, and we'll bring it down till we've just skimmed off everything, so this surface is completely flat. So I'm going to go ahead and screw this thing down now, put my bit in there, set my XY 0, set my Z 0, and start milling away. Part of learning how to use this machine is how to hold your work in place and do so efficiently. And also how to get yourself aligned in the center as best as possible. And so far I've always used my 30-degree V bit, which is a very pointy bit, and I use that to align the XY access. So I'll put that V-bit and run it all the way down on top of the piece of wood, and I'll line it as perfectly as I can onto my center line of the X and Y axis. And then I'll go ahead and raise it up out of the way and put the bit I'm going to use in there, which in this case is that 1-inch surfacing bit. And then I can go ahead, once that's in, and use the touch plate to set the Z-axis height, which is basically telling the CNC machine exactly how high that bit is off the surface of your work. So then once the X, Y, and Z axes are all set, I go ahead and put on my dust shroud there, which will help direct the sawdust up into the vacuum, and start running my tool path. You can see there in the beginning where it ramped forward and then back, that's it ramping into its position, which I talked about before. And if you notice, the first pass I did is I went all the way around the perimeter of the material first, and then it starts its raster path, which is basically just going vertically on the Y-axis back and forth until it works its way completely across the surface of the material. There's tiny little lines left on it, but very, very minor stuff. Certainly nothing that's going to get in the way, and it sands right off very easily. So me being who I am, I got out my straight edge to check, and that thing was beautifully flat. I was very, very impressed with the way that came out. So I repeated that process on the second half of the body blank, and then I proceeded to run it through my plane, putting the milled side down, and now I'm cutting off the other side. And you can see here as it's going through the plane, it's starting to take off on the corners there. Well, that board was pretty warped. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it was bad enough. I really think now after doing this with the plane, I'd have been just as well off, maybe even better off, just flipping those boards over and doing the second side on the CNC machine. And I believe next time I'm going to do that. So now once I have both surfaces parallel with each other, I'm going to go ahead and run the center edge on each board down my joiner to get those trued up. So now I have two perfectly flat parallel surfaces, and each board has a square, smooth, flat edge. Now I'm going to go ahead and rip them down. These were 8 inches wide. I'm ripping them each one down to about a little over about 7 1/8, 7 1/4 inches, which is close to my end blank width. Now to get that center line to fit really, really well, joiner's just not good enough. I like to use my bench plane on those. So I finished that joint with a bench plane, and that's a big thick piece of maple. So before I do it, I always like getting my plane iron out and sharpening it up, just kind of tuning it up a little bit before I do it, because that's some tough wood. But I'll tell you what, planing a joint with a hand plane, I can get it so much better with that than I can with a joiner. It's not even funny. So I guess I've wondered in the past is if I start using a CNC machine, is it going to no longer feel like woodworking? And so far, I mean, I'm just getting into this, but so far it's just one piece of the puzzle. I'm still doing all that fun stuff that I did before that really makes me enjoy doing woodworking. I'm still using all the same skills I had before. I'm just now applying those skills and learning new ones to a new tool. And so far, I'm really digging it. Okay, so that all went very well so far. I've got a really nice fit here. And something funny, I put that straight edge after I fit these two pieces together to make sure we were still planing out flat. The funny thing is, the side that went through my planer, not that it's the greatest planer in the world, but the side that went through the planer, there's actually more highs and lows and whatnot when you check with the straight edge than there is in the back that went through the CNC machine. So that CNC machine somehow made it flatter than the planer. And I'm not sure how that happened, but anyway, I think in the end it's gonna come out good. And but so for now, I'm gonna go ahead and we're ready to glue this up. So I'm gonna spin that camera around. We're gonna glue this joint up and get going. So that's my trusty little glue up jig. I actually made that to glue tops down on the guitars. But really it works well for gluing up these two big pieces like this too. It holds it nice and flat, and I got room to put my clamps in on the edges, and it just works out good. I put a little wax paper both under the boards and on top to keep them from getting glued to my gluing jig, and just line them up and clamp it together. Pretty good. I'm going to scrape that glue off of there, run it through the sander a couple times. So I've still got quite a ways to go with this body blank. I'm going to saw 3/8 off the top, do some chambering, some wire routes inside, and then glue the top back on. And then I'll have a completed chambered body plate. And so far I've got a really nice trued up piece of wood to work with, flat and true and square, and 100% ready to go. Well folks, we're gonna have to leave it about there for this video. As you can see, I've actually gotten a little bit further along since I filmed this video, and we're gonna get caught up on this on the next one. Anyway, so far I am really digging using this machine. I'm loving trying to figure out how to use it and how to make these fixtures and design on the computer and everything. It's been a really cool journey. And the good news is it still really feels like woodworking to me too. So anyway, I hope somebody got a little something out of it. I'm enjoying the heck out of doing it. And I hope you all come back on the next one. Anyway, in the meantime, God bless you. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you all in the next one.